Hi, everybody. Along with Greg Kelser, I'm Tom Hamilton. And when you speak of Evan Eschmeyer, arguably, Greg, he might be the most improved player in the history of the Big Ten when you talk about from day one to where he is now.
I can see why you'd say that. After all, when Evan Eschmeyer first got to Northwestern, he lacked confidence, certainly didn't have the coordination that he possesses now. But he has worked diligently to make himself one of the best post-up players in the Big Ten. You can almost count on him game in and game out for 20 points and 10 rebounds.
And the man that will guard him is Indiana's Andre Patterson, coming off his best ever Big Ten performance.
27 points on the road and a narrow loss to Purdue the other night. Patterson seems to be peaking at just the right time. If you look at his last 7 or 8 games, he is really coming on. And I look for him today to try to put pressure on Eschmeyer when he gets the ball on the offensive end of the floor.
And when you check out the Big Ten standings, you'll notice that for Indiana, they have to win out to have any shot at a Big Ten title. Meanwhile, Northwestern, they just keep improving at this stage of the season.
Their last 5 games, they could have easily have won them all, but they've lost narrowly in overtime to Michigan State and Penn State. They've been playing much better, but not making the plays near the end of the game that win games, and that's an area where they're looking to improve.
All righty, Greg, that's the way it looks here from Bloomington. Now let's check into the Big Ten studios and Mike Gleason.
Thanks a lot, Tom, and hi, everybody, and welcome to our second triple header of the season. It's nice to have you.
And, of course, his starting 5, a familiar one, headed by Evan Eschmeyer. And don't forget about their outstanding freshman guard, Sean Wink. He and Eschmeyer combined for 57% of Northwestern's points. Indiana, they too have one of the premier freshmen in the country in Luke Record. Bob Knight, in his 27th year as the head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers. And for Indiana, this marks their 28th consecutive winning season. All set to tip it off. Indiana 7-4 in the Big Ten. Northwestern 2-9. And the tip control by the Wildcats. Greg, how important is it for Northwestern to get off on a solid foot?
They've got to get off to a good start. They've got to avoid giving Indiana any of those patented runs. And they've also got to take care of the basketball. The first time out against Indiana, that is, Northwestern turned it over 17 times.
Eschmeyer looking at a double team tied up by Patterson. He'll see a lot of that. At times he'll be triple teamed, Greg. The keys to victory today, Greg, for the Wildcats?
As I just mentioned, taking better care of the basketball. You can't turn it over in this building and expect to win. And then guards, they've got to help out on offense. Indiana's got to contain Eschmeyer, and they've got to do a better job on the boards. They were out-rebounded by 9 in their loss to Purdue the other night.
This is Guyton. Indiana, Bob Knight saying he does not expect the up-tempo game that his club has been involved in recently as Guyton drains the 2-pointer.
But Guyton's a terrific guard, able to put the ball on the floor, come up with a jump shot at any time. He can certainly create the offense for himself. You mentioned not expecting the running game, Bob Knight. Well, Northwestern is not a team that's going to push it up the floor and try to score in transition unless it's just wide open.
Harmson with the steal, taking it away from Patterson. It's 2-0 early going. Indiana on top. We've played just over a minute. Triple teamed is Eschmeyer. But the kick out to a wide-open Joe Branch. He misses that shot, and those are really critical, aren't they, Greg?
Well, when Branch catches it, or anybody catches it for Northwestern, that wide open, they've got to be able to knock it down. As you said, Eschmeyer is going to need some help. Smart pass by him the last time because he's going to see 2 and 3 guys around him the entire game.
Harmson wide open, and still Northwestern without a point. Eschmeyer the rebound. Eschmeyer comes in averaging 23 points and 11 rebounds a game. That leads the Big Ten in both those departments.
The thing I like about him, he's patient. He won't force a lot of shots, but right now, just count it. I mean, he's going to get his shots off inside when he gets that deep position. Usually he's going to draw fouls as well.
Well, both he and Harmson missed at point-blank range, and Indiana still pitching a shutout 2 minutes into this one. 2-0 Hoosiers. You look at Indiana and the numbers. They've never lost to Northwestern in this building. They've dominated this series, and they now lead it 4-0 as Guyton has all 4.
Excellent movement off the ball. Indiana, they're going to give you a lot of movement offensively. They set good screens. Everybody moving with a purpose designed to get a teammate open for an open shot.
This is Julian Bonner. This is Wink open off the screen, short on the shot. Harmson and Patterson battle. Joe Harmson picks up his first personal foul, and so it's 4-0 Indiana. Greg, defensively, can Northwestern play a man-to-man, which is their defense, but can they play it against this kind of a ball club like Indiana, which moves so well and screens so well?
Well, if they do, they'll have to do it with a lot of communication because, as we said, Indiana, they set a lot of screens. They always run a motion offense, not a lot of set plays. And if you can move your feet and communicate and switch when necessary, then you can really do a better job of defending them.
Somebody didn't communicate there. Guyton got the floater to fall. 6-0 in favor of A.J. Guyton.
I just don't know that Northwestern has the players with the foot speed and quickness necessary to guard a team that's giving you constant movement.
Wink open again. And again, Northwestern still scoreless 3 minutes into this one. By the way, our officials today, Randy Drury, Dan Chrisma, and Mike Spanier. Guyton has scored all 6, missed on that one. The rebound to Harmson. Northwestern down 6-0 here. 3:15 has elapsed. Northwestern 0 for 7 from the field. Eschmeyer double teamed and a reach in on Luke Recker, his first.
You know, I talked about Eschmeyer's patience last week against Penn State. Scored a career high 37 points, but only had 2 points 10 minutes into the game. So he really stayed patient until the openings were there. Now here's Guyton moving without the ball and getting a nice shot to drop off the baseline. He is one guy that you really got to be on when he's coming off of those screens.
Eschmeyer with the little jump hook. Rebound to Recker. Wildcats 0 for 8 from the field. Patterson's open. He's a good shooter. And it's 8-0 Indiana. Andre Patterson, his game has really come along as Kevin O'Neill says we need a 20-second timeout before this thing is completely out of hand.
And he doesn't look to be that dismayed, Kevin O'Reilly, because they are getting good shots. They're getting good shots in there.
There you look at the matchup of the centers today. 2 of the best in the Big Ten. So far, Eschmeyer hasn't scored. But the thing about this matchup, Greg, Patterson will get plenty of help in covering Eschmeyer.
And I think that's what O'Neill is telling his team right now. Hey, guys, look, we're going to get open shots. As long as Eschmeyer is being double and triple teamed, they're going to get open shots. Just take your time and shoot the ball with confidence. Right now, it doesn't look like they're shooting with the confidence.
Is it hard to come in this building and play with confidence?
Well, if you get off to a poor start and you're down 8-0, it certainly doesn't help things.
Eschmeyer this time had single coverage, but traveled. Kevin O'Neill and Evan Eschmeyer debating that call. 8-0 Indiana. There you look at Kevin O'Neill. The one thing about Kevin O'Neill, there is not a more fierce competitor in the college game, and O'Neill has his Wildcats playing very hard at this time of the season when a lot of times you could bag it. Recker makes it 10-0. What a nice touch pass.
Nice touch pass from William Gladness, one of the unsung heroes of this Indiana team. But you're right about Kevin O'Neill. He's done a superb job. And, you know, with a break here or there, made free throw here or there, things could be a whole lot different for the Wildcats.
Well, right now, Kevin O'Neill's worst nightmare is becoming a reality. You're watching Big Ten basketball.
Greg.
Thank you very much, Mike. That is a terrific basketball conference, and that Atlantic 10 may have 5 teams in the NCAA tournament, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Indiana dominating early, 10-0. Northwestern hasn't shot well, and they've turned it over. Patterson from long range missing. Joe Branch with a rebound for the Wildcats.
You know, in games where Northwestern has struggled, this is the type of thing that they've had to deal with. Teams going out on runs, 10-0, 12-0, that sort of thing. And that's a much-needed basket and nice movement off the basketball that time by Joe Harmson.
So finally, Northwestern on the board almost 5 minutes into the game. Wide open Lewis, and he drains the triple.
You've got to know who to leave on the perimeter and who not to leave. Lewis, a pretty good perimeter shooter. You don't want to give him that kind of time from outside.
Indiana as a team hitting 41% from beyond the arc in Big Ten play. That is the best in the Big Ten.
And as a team shooting 50% from the floor, and that's excellent.
There's a goaltend on Patterson. Yeah, they're the best shooting team in the Big Ten, Greg. And when you think of Indiana, you always think of their defense, but they have really been explosive.
Here's Eschmeyer getting it mid-key area, elevating, and there's the goaltend that time by Patterson. The first 2 points of the game for Eschmeyer.
In fact, Bob Knight is very pleased with the way the club has played offensively as Patterson on a tough turnaround. It's the defense that has upset Coach Bob Knight. I think I said Patterson. Gladness with that hoop on the turnaround as Wink from the corner missing. Harmson with a rebound. Indiana's defense, Greg, not the kind that you would normally expect this year. They've given up an awful lot of points.
They've given up a lot of points, but you know what? They've scored a lot of points. So a lot of times what it means is that the opponent is getting more possessions, therefore more opportunities to score. The defense may not be as bad as the numbers would indicate. They gave up 92 at Purdue the other day. That's a lot of points. 94, that is, and that's a lot of points.
Harmson on the charge. Good play by Lewis to draw it, and already Harmson on the bench with his second personal. And Napoleon Harris off the Northwestern football team is checked in along with Nate Pomaday. Harris is very physical as he picks up Patterson.
Typical football player mentality, you know, thinks he can play basketball, thinks basketball players are wimps.
You sound a little sarcastic.
Well, you know what? I happened to overhear him a little bit when they were warming up out on the floor before the game, and he was talking about how he was going to cover somebody. I don't know who he was talking about, but he was saying, hey, he won't get a look at the basket when I'm on the game. So, hey, he's got that attitude.
He also has the capability of picking fouls up in a rapid hurry. 15-4 Indiana. Guyton getting free, hanging in the air, in and out. Well, Harris off the bench, yanks down the rebound. 13:35 left in the first half. Northwestern with the ball down 11. Double teamed is Eschmeyer. Boy, he sees a lot of that.
That's respect.
Eschmeyer has it taken away. An interception by Patterson. Fronting, lobbing. Luke Recker with the fake. The jump hook falls. Boy, Indiana can do very little wrong here in the early going.
Patterson with the confidence to push it up the floor himself as opposed to giving it to a guard. A nice pass inside to Recker.
Recker has 4. Indiana up 17-4.
The last time Northwestern tried to force it into Eschmeyer, you cannot do that when he's being double teamed.
There they try it again. Slapped away. Indiana very active on the defensive end here today, Greg.
They really are.
Eschmeyer spinning and is fouled on that spin move.
You see Eschmeyer, we talked about the crowd that he's going to draw. You've got Gladness behind him, and then moving over the front a little bit and getting the steal was Patterson, who then led the Indiana break. Now, the one thing about Eschmeyer, he has terrific foot movement. Therefore, if he gets the basketball against one guy, that one guy is in trouble. Last week against Penn State, he fouled their entire front line out, starters that is, and then started working on the 2 guys that came off the bench.
Evan Eschmeyer had 26 points on Wednesday night. Northwestern won. They only scored 47. And he has his first 2 today. He's a 6'11 senior out of New Knoxville, Ohio. Kevin O'Neill telling us before the game today that in all likelihood, Eschmeyer will be back for a 6th season next year. Remember, he missed his first 2 years with a stress fracture of the foot. And in all likelihood, will be given the okay to come back a 6th year. Patterson with a hook. And the rebound, Harris. So Harris playing well.
Done a nice job on the glass. 2 defensive rebounds since coming into the game. He also has 1 offensive carry. Nate Pomaday with the ball right now. He can be a threat from outside. He's got to work himself free, especially when he goes inside to Eschmeyer. He may have to get a kick out.
This is Harris from the baseline. Well, he's starting to back up that pregame talk.
He sure is.
17-8 in favor of Indiana. Indiana Hoosiers on the lob, slapped away by Eschmeyer. Harris 1-on-3. Harris better pull it out, and does. The problem for Northwestern is trying to play catch-up. They're the worst offensive team in the Big Ten, averaging only 54 points a game. As Pomaday rims the 3, slapped out of bounds by Gladness, who saved a layup. So 11:32 remaining in the first half. Northwestern down 9 on Big Ten basketball. Indiana jumping out quickly on Northwestern. And you look at the shooting. Indiana dynamite. Northwestern really struggling.
What a consolation there. 13 shots for Northwestern. Most of them high percentage shots they just haven't been able to put down. If they keep getting that variety of shot selection, maybe they'll start to fall, but defensively they're going to have to pick it up a little bit as well.
This is Harris. He's played well off the bench. Blocked by Gladness. Eschmeyer, the follow, counted and a foul. So Eschmeyer with a chance for a three-point play as he gets his first field goal of the afternoon.
See, the one thing about Evan Eschmeyer, he's not a statue out on the floor. In other words, he doesn't stand still. Here, the drive by Harris, Eschmeyer anticipating that the shot may be off, goes right in, gets the offensive rebound, puts it back, and picks up a foul. He's starting to go to work on that interior of Indiana's.
Well, the one thing you know about Northwestern under Kevin O'Neill, they will not quit. He has really been working his kids hard just to teach them how hard it is to play. So they've never really learned how difficult a game this is and how much effort you have to give. They've learned this season. 17-11, Indiana up. 11:05 left in the first half. Guyton from long range missing. Eschmeyer gets another rebound.
Excellent defensive stance that time by Northwestern.
Eschmeyer already 7 points and 3 rebounds, and now Michael Lewis called for a holding foul. That'll be the fourth on Indiana, and the second.
You know,
I beg your pardon, Greg. It's on Patterson, his second.
You know, there is a chance, and they would need some help, but there's a slight chance that Indiana still, if they win out, could get a share of the Big Ten crown. I mean, they've only got 4 losses,
right,
and there's still going to be a lot of damage going on between the teams that are ahead of them right now. Illinois, Purdue, and Michigan State.
Julian Bonner missing. Again, Northwestern just not able to hit that perimeter shot. Hamade will try and miss.
Excellent looks, however.
And the basketball belongs to Indiana. Well, Kevin O'Neill can't be displeased with the way they run their offense.
They're getting what they want. I mean, when the ball goes inside and your man is double and triple teamed, well, the only option you have is to kick it back out and hope to get an outside shot that's open.
Missing there was Recker. Harris has another rebound. What a job he's done.
Harris has turned things around for Northwestern. When he came on the floor, their confidence surged, their play improved, and they're right in this game, trailing by just 6 points.
Harris already with 4 rebounds off the bench. This is Harris with the basketball. We near the midway point of the first half, 17-11. Indiana, Hamade open for 3. Again, can't get it to fall. Run down by Recker.
Well, obviously, if the shots won't drop, they don't have a prayer of winning the game, but the execution has been very good. And Indiana in a cold spell right now, but Northwestern not doing anything about it. And you know Northwestern's margin for error is slim. They got to start taking advantage of some of these chances.
One of the real weaknesses for Northwestern, according to Kevin O'Neill, is that they don't have a true point guard that can create off the dribble.
Bonner doing the best he can as a point guard, but they feel like he's probably more suited for the 2 guard or even a small forward role.
5 on the shot clock, traveling on Joe Branch. And Kevin O'Neill was saying, Bonner has done everything we can ask. We've really put him in an unfair position, but he has to be our point guard. And O'Neill said he might be one of the finest human beings that he's ever coached.
Quite a statement there.
Yep. 9:15 left in the first half, 17-11. Indiana on top. Recker over Branch, gets it off the glass.
Excellent turnaround that time by Recker. He has nice post skills too. 6 feet, 7 inches tall.
Recker had a tough night at Purdue. Boilermakers, of course, with a big win this week over Indiana. As Wink is open, Wink can't get it to fall, and Miller yanks it down.
He's getting closer, though. That one rimmed in and out.
What a pretty move, but Guyton doesn't get the hoop. Northwestern the other way. You won't see Northwestern get a lot of easy baskets in transition.
You know, here lately, since Bonner has been asked to handle the ball and set the team up offensively, he hasn't really been a shot threat. I mean, here's a guy that averages almost 10 points a game that doesn't look to shoot the ball anymore. And I think that in an effort to try and take some pressure off of Eschmeyer when he's on the floor, Bonner needs to be a shooting threat.
That's already the 7th turnover on Northwestern. 8:20 left in the half. Even though Northwestern's turning it over and shooting poorly, they're still within striking distance. Indiana got off to that great start, but they have really settled. Guyton from the corner. Not there. Easy one for Lewis. Right spot at the right time. And O'Neal slams the clipboard to the court. 10-point Indiana lead. Another nice fronting job by Gladness. Recker running the court. Recker gets it to fall, and a foul as well will go against Julian Bonner. And now the Hoosiers with a spurt lead by a dozen.
Recker able to adjust his body in midair, avoid a charge, and get the soft shot off the glass. That's athletic ability from the young player. There's the fronting job, as you said, by Gladness. The tip away to Guyton, who's pushing it up the floor. Actually, Charlie Miller on the pass there, and Recker able to get the roll and the three-point opportunity.
And Luke Recker makes it 24-11 in favor of Indiana. Recker now with 9 points as the outstanding freshman continues his pursuit of Freshman of the Year in the Big Ten. You're watching Big Ten basketball.
This is a battery. It has positives, it has negatives. The positives, it makes your car go.
Thank you, Mike. Alameen, everybody thought would be going to the University of Minnesota. He's a native of the Twin Cities, but changed his mind at the last moment. Boy, what a freshman he is for UConn.
Super. You know, we talked about Northwestern's slim margin for error. Well, they had 6 opportunities when the score was 17-11 to cut into Indiana's lead. Failed on every opportunity, and then Indiana comes out, hits them with a quick 7-0 spurt, and then once again it's a 13-point deficit. So as I said earlier, when you're Northwestern, you just got to take advantage of the opportunities that you get.
They have so little room for error, and right now the Wildcats are 4 of 20 from the field. And if you've said it all game long, Greg, they're getting good shots.
Absolutely.
This is Recker. Nice up and under. Short on it. Gladness has it. Gladness tied up. Possession arrow belongs to Northwestern. 24-11 in favor of the Hoosiers. There was some concern in Bloomington. Would Indiana be a little flat for this game after the emotional loss to Purdue earlier this week? But they can't afford now to stub their toe the rest of the way.
They've still got a good shot at this thing, and it's not to get into a share of the title, certainly to move up to 2nd place, maybe 3rd place, and improve their matchup for the upcoming tournament, which I'm really looking forward to.
Oh, boy. Will that be something at the United Center in Chicago? This is Napoleon Harris. You notice he doesn't draw the double team on the low block. Eschmeyer already double teamed on the entry pass, and easy pickings for Lewis ahead to Miller. Wow!
Got the crowd up on its feet. Everybody in the Assembly Hall standing, applauding that effort. That's transition basketball at its finest.
Charlie Miller. Everybody in their red sweaters standing now at Assembly Hall as Sean Wink finally hits the home run ball.
Charlie Miller looked like a left-handed Dr. J on that move to the basket.
And Lewis knifes in. It's 28-14 Indiana. 6:05 left in the first half. 7 for Lewis. Eschmeyer. The kick out to Branch. Entry to Harris. Eschmeyer with a foul. Eschmeyer now with 9. Boy, that was electrifying by Charlie Miller. Gladness couldn't handle the pass. Northwestern gets it on the turnover. Indiana has been averaging 20 turnovers a game over the last 4 games. In fact, they had 24 in the loss to Purdue, yet had a chance to win despite the 24. Eschmeyer scores again. He has 11.
Bob Knight up, going a little crazy right now because he can't understand why they relax just a little bit defensively on the inside. The moment you do that with Evan Eschmeyer, understand that he is going to find the opening. He's going to get the ball and will usually score.
36th consecutive double-figure scoring effort for Eschmeyer as Lewis from way outside misses. Harris has another rebound.
Yeah, Harris has been sound. Make no mistake.
Oh,
man. He's a football player, as we talked about. He is limited in terms of basketball ability, but he is working hard. You can't question that, and his effort has really helped Northwestern.
Branch gets it from the baseline. And just like that, the pesky Wildcats claw their way back to within 8.
As long as they can keep it in single digits, the deficit, as we near halftime, they're in pretty good shape. You know, this is a team that isn't going to back down. They're going to go away, and I think they're going to continue to get the high percentage of shots that they're getting, the good shot selection that is, and maybe they'll start to fall.
Kevin O'Neill said no way we can get involved in a shootout with Indiana, so certainly the pace is to their liking as Bonner missed the triple.
See, I don't have a problem with that shot because they're not guarding Bonner. They're not playing him to score.
Eschmeyer with a strong rebound, and Northwestern calls another 20-second timeout. Wildcats will have the ball leading by 8 with 4:08 left in the half. Greg, what makes Eschmeyer so difficult to defend? Because athletically he is limited.
First of all, he's 6 feet 11 inches tall. Secondly, he has good foot movement. Thirdly, he wants the basketball. He's always moving, asking for it, trying to get himself open. So when you got a guy that's that determined, you know, eventually he's going to wear you down and get the job done. I've been saying for the last 2 years that he's the best post-up scorer in the Big Ten. He hadn't done anything to change my opinion.
And according to Kevin O'Neill, he should get even better next year as he again hits the weights hard this summer.
One thing he needs to also improve is his his spacing game. He needs to be able to be a threat from about 13 or 14 feet out. You'll notice in this game he's gotten it a couple of times standing at the free throw line, but definitely was not thinking about shooting from there.
Wildcats down 8, 3:50 left in the half. Bonner. They reverse it, Wink inside Eschmeyer. He was bumped from behind. That's the 5th team foul on Indiana. Let's see who it goes against. It goes against Larry Richardson, his first. So the Wildcats hanging tough. Down 8 as you're watching Big Ten basketball from Bloomington.
If you're like most people,
Eschmeyer, he'll get as many as 60 touches a game. He missed there in the jump hook, but he perseveres and draws the foul.
Boy, if you don't clear out, and get the defensive rebound the first time he misses, you let him get a second crack at it from point-blank range. He's going to get a three-point opportunity most times. He's certainly going to cause the foul situation to become a concern for Indiana.
That's the second. I'm sorry, Greg.
Yeah, just never giving up in there. I like his effort.
Second on Richardson in his effort today. Look at that. He's already halfway to his per-game average. Eschmeyer is out of New Knoxville, Ohio. He has twice this year grabbed as many as 18 rebounds in a game. The other thing is he's in great shape. He averages 37 minutes a game, and you got to figure he really gets beat on in those 37 minutes.
And he does a lot of beating on. He's a physical player. Either he's going to foul out or the people guarding him are going to foul. Somebody's going to lead the game via the foul route.
Holding foul will go against Nate Pomaday. That's the 6th foul on Northwestern. And the first on Pomaday. Neither team in the bonus yet. Actually, just the 5th foul on Northwestern.
You know, you talked about Indiana's turnover problems of late, but one of the best games they had taking care of the basketball occurred in the first matchup against Northwestern. Just 7 turnovers in that game.
Game that Indiana won handily at Welsh Ryan. Foul off the ball. It'll go against Northwestern. Somebody was moving, trying to set a screen. It was Pomaday, his second, 6th on the Wildcats. In that ball game, Eschmeyer was held to 4 points in the first half as Indiana was able to basically settle the score in the first half at Evanston, but that's not the story here today. Eschmeyer has been able to get 12 first half points. Northwestern down 7. Guyton, nice dunk. And fouled was Patterson. Beg your pardon, Charlie Miller fouled, and he'll go to the line.
When you get the good screens set and guys coming off those screens, here's Guyton. Look how he comes off that screen, ready to catch and make a move, and then the extra pass, the dump inside to Miller. Nothing Northwestern could do that time but foul.
And that's the 3rd on Joe Harmson. Charlie Miller's not had the career everybody expected. The 6'7" senior out of Miami averages only 4 points a game. He came out of high school averaging 33 points a game. But today he electrified everybody with one of the great dunks of the college basketball season. 9-point Hoosier lead, 2:45 left in the first half. Napoleon Harris, he'll be a linebacker on the Wildcat football team next year as Wink drains his second three ball of the afternoon. And it's a 6-point Hoosier lead. Boy, Wink is a good-looking freshman as well.
Yeah, he's one of several young players in this conference that really give the Big Ten reason to be optimistic about its future. Here's another right here.
That Luke record. 10 on the shot clock. Guyton, only a sophomore, can't finish. And Harris, there he is again with his 7th rebound.
And look at this, Northwestern right back at that 6-point deficit with the basketball and a chance to cut it lower. Let's see if they'll take advantage this time.
Oh, look at Eschmeyer, wide open, couldn't get it to fall. Mandeville stripped it. Eschmeyer took it away and called another timeout. Well, that's already 3 timeouts that Northwestern has used here in the first half.
But 2 of them were 20-second timeouts.
And that'll be their 3rd 20-second timeout they've used. 1:43 left in the half. Northwestern down 6 will have the ball, and we've got a doubleheader to follow this one. Illinois and Purdue. What a showdown that will be. Then Ohio State at Iowa. Illinois with a huge win over Michigan State on Thursday night.
You know, that was a situation where the entire city of Champaign was waiting on the Spartans. And Michigan State, I don't think they had any idea that it was going to be that wild and that noisy in there. And that crowd really lifted that Illinois team up, and they played very, very well. Now, I think that they can do a good job on the road, but they'll probably have that same type of situation to deal with themselves at Mackey Arena. So it's going to be a very tough game for them to win, but it's going to be a great one.
Boy, what a stretch run we've got in the Big Ten, Greg, because now that Big Ten title is really up for grabs. As another foul away, and it goes against the Northwestern Wildcats. Oh my, Joe Branch picks up the foul. Looked like another moving screen. And Indiana will shoot the 1-and-1.
Yeah, 6 seems to be their hump. That's the hurdle that that Northwestern can't seem to get over. They get a couple of opportunities, but then come away with either turnovers or shots that don't fall. And now Indiana looking to increase and perhaps get a double-digit lead by halftime.
Charlie Miller misses the front end. Miller, a 78% free throw shooter. This Indiana team, one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. It's 75% as a club. Nowadays in collegiate basketball, that's tremendous.
Right.
So again, a 6-point deficit for the Wildcats. Wink gets his 3rd triple, and it's a 3-point game.
Penetration, kick it out. No one guarding Wink. Had all day to line it up. It's turning into a pretty good game.
And it's for Northwestern, deja vu. As Mandeville misses, rebound run down by Harris. Wink and Eschmeyer have combined for 21 of Northwestern's 27 points. Normally, those two are able to come up with 57% of Northwestern's offense on the year. And they're even better than that today. 14 on the shot clock. Assembly Hall has grown very quiet. Indiana by 3. 6 on the shot clock. Branch for the tie. Branch missing again. Indiana maintains the basketball with 20 seconds left in the half. They'll play for 1, but tremendous first half for Northwestern.
Absolutely. And when you think about Branch taking that shot a moment ago, a career 31% shooter, so really not a high percentage shot for him.
Guyton can nail it, and does with 5 seconds left in the half. Northwestern can't get the ball inbounded in time to even get a shot off. So a big 3-pointer by A.J. Guyton just before the half. Guyton with 9 first-half points. Bob Knight's Hoosiers lead by 6. You're watching Big Ten basketball. 27, they had led by as many as 15 in the first half. And Greg, let's check out those first-half highlights.
Now let's do that. Here we have Indiana early of the first half, but in dramatic fashion. But here's the omnipresent Evan Eschmeyer inside, making himself available for Northwestern. And now Wink took him a little time to get it going, but then 3 3-pointers in that first half really helped and lend some support to Eschmeyer. But this to end the half and give Indiana its 6-point lead. A.J. Guyton, you know he scored 6 early and then 3 late.
The second half coming up when we return. The second half. In that first half, his ball club didn't shoot very well and turned it over a bunch, yet they're very much within striking distance. You look at the first half numbers, Indiana shooting 44%, Northwestern just 32%. Look at the difference in turnovers. But how about the rebounding, Greg? Does that surprise you as Eschmeyer and Wink continue to do what they've done all year?
Doesn't surprise me. It's very vital for Northwestern. But I tell you what, the first 5 minutes of this half could be critical if Northwestern expects to stay in this game. And that's an excellent start right there.
Oh, Bonner with a great hustle.
Maybe I spoke too soon. Great hustle.
Indiana with Guyton in the backcourt, along with Lewis, and a front line of Recker, Gladness, and Patterson. Northwestern's backcourt, Bonner and Wink, and a front line of Branch. And Napoleon Harris gets the start along with Evan Eschmeyer.
Keep in mind, the first half, Indiana started with a 10-0 run. Now, come out and do this in the second half, then it's going to be maybe too deep a hole for Northwestern to climb out of. So Northwestern's really going to have their concentration going, their execution working early in this half.
Eschmeyer forced it inside. Indiana picked it off. And that turnover is the 12th on the Wildcats, and Guyton driving the baseline. A blocking foul will go against Julian Bonner. Well, we have a matchup of superb freshmen here today. Sean Wink having a good first half with 9 points. Same holds true for Luke Recker. So they've lived up to their advanced billing.
Oh, yeah. Just to give you an idea of how Kevin O'Neal felt about Harris's play in the first half. He started the second half. Now, Harmson's on the bench with a little bit of foul trouble, but Northwestern was definitely a different team with Harris on the floor in the first half.
Well, Patterson had a quiet first half with 2 points. He just rattled in that jumper. He had the big second half the other night against Purdue as well when he had 21 of his 27 points. It was a Big Ten best for Andre Patterson. He now picks up Harris, trying to force it inside, deflected out by Recker. 11 on the shot clock for the Wildcats, who trailed 35-27.
You know, Wink got things going a little bit, knocking down 3 late threes for Northwestern. Cannot go into an offensive funk to start this half. He's got to become more offensive-minded because, once again, Eschmeyer, he's not getting any opening underneath right now.
Again, the overplay by Gladness results in a turnover. This is Gladness. Remember, Northwestern, they went nearly 5 minutes in this game before they scored. They were down 10-0 when they finally got on the board. They can't afford that in the second half. Patterson driving and scoring. That was a pretty play.
Patterson's got some moves. He's showing that, hey, Evan Eschmeyer is the only one with good post moves and footwork inside. Excellent play.
Andre Patterson has averaged 17 a game over his last 5. You talked about that at the very outset, that he seems to have taken his game maybe to another level.
Timely, too, as the season, the regular season, that is, winds down. Now, that basket right there on the pass from Eschmeyer to Harris breaks a 7-0 Indiana run dating back to last half.
So the Wildcats are on the board in the second half, down 8. They've trailed by as many as 15.
They pulled it back as close as 3.
Another holding foul on the drive. And Northwestern picking up fouls quickly here in the second half. That will go against Branch. His second. Joe Harmson, playing with 3 fouls, checks in for Napoleon Harris. Harris has already matched a career best with 9 rebounds today. Also in for the Hoosiers is Luke Jimenez. He has the basketball now. Former walk-on out of the state of Minnesota. Patterson picked up by Harmson. Harmson just picked up his 4th. I mean, he wasn't in the game 10 seconds in a holding foul.
Yeah, so guess who will come right back in? Napoleon Harris with a chance to get double figures in rebounding, but here just not moving the feet quickly enough. Harmson putting his hands right there on the waist of Patterson, and the official, an easy call.
And Harmson has really played well as of late for Kevin O'Neill's Wildcats, doing the little things, maybe not scoring a lot, but doing the other things that make a team successful. But today he has spent much of the game on the bench with the foul trouble. And Harris quickly holding Patterson from behind, and Northwestern piling him up in a hurry. That's 14 fouls already on Northwestern, and that'll go against Napoleon Harris, and that's his first. There you look at Kevin O'Neill, former head coach at Tennessee and Marquette. Several years back took Marquette to the Sweet 16. He's a guy that really loves to rebuild programs. He did it at Marquette. He was doing it at Tennessee, and he calls this the supreme challenge. Gladness open from outside. Harris with a career best 10 rebounds.
Boy.
He may be the most athletic player in this Northwestern club.
Yeah, well, I think he's certainly the most confident in terms of not being fearful out there. You come off the gridiron, the basketball court starts to look a little easier. Huh?
Well, again, trying to force it inside. Indiana slapped it out. There's no question Northwestern will try to get the ball into the hands of Evan Eschmeyer. And Indiana overplaying on every pass to Eschmeyer.
Here's Eschmeyer. And again, when the ball is incoming, you see the defense rotate over, and they've gotten several deflections and many turnovers in that situation.
Indiana almost turned them over again. Greg, is there any way to get the ball into Eschmeyer when he has that kind of traffic around him, or what do you do?
Well, you know what? You got to move the ball on the perimeter and force the defense to have to rotate from outside, and that eventually will open up something on the inside. But you got Northwestern playing one side of the floor, and the two men are on him right now, Patterson and Gladness. Now that'll help. That'll help.
Napoleon Harris playing with great confidence.
Yeah. So you get someone to knock down an outside shot or two. Now you force the defense to have to come out of that paint area, and that will ultimately give Eschmeyer all the room he needs.
Wait, can you say deja vu for Andre Patterson? This is like Tuesday night. He had 2 points at halftime here today. He's had 6 quick points here in the second half, and the Hoosiers lead 39-31.
On his way to scoring those 27 points. Oh, man. Napoleon again. Napoleon Harris. That's 2 in a row from the very same spot for him.
Gary Barnett, the head football coach at Northwestern, may be saying, hey, you better not play that well. I need you as a linebacker. And Patterson counters.
I was about to say, in scoring the 27 points at Purdue, Patterson knocked down 11 of 15 shots. So, he really maximized the shot opportunities he got.
This is Joe Branch on the wing. This time they get it in easier to Eschmeyer for 3. Wink too strong. Yanked down by Guyton. Hoosiers up 8. 14:40 left in the game. Patterson's feeling it.
Oh, yeah. You know he is when he takes a shot like that. He was on his heels, falling back, and no hesitation, caught it and shot it. You're feeling good when you shoot it like that.
He had 2 points at halftime. Patterson has 10 points in 5.5 minutes here in the second half.
Oh, good pump fake.
And Harris missing that time. Belongs to Indiana. Harris had never scored more than 5 in a collegiate game. Today, Harris with 8 points, 10 rebounds, but the Hoosiers on a spurt lead by 10. This is Big Ten basketball. Indiana on top of the Wildcats, 14:15 remaining. Northwestern, Greg, they just keep hanging in there. You look at Napoleon Harris, we told you before, career high already in points and rebounding, and he's been a reason they've been able to hang in.
Oh, that slipped out of Patterson's hands, but when it's going good, things like that occur. Slipped out, went right in the basket.
14 points for Patterson, all but 2 in the second half.
He was going up to dunk the basketball, and it came right out of his palm.
He now is guarding Harris. Wildcats down a dozen. They've trailed by as many as 15. Branch on the drive had it poked away but was fouled. First foul on Indiana here in the second half.
Now you say to yourself, okay, if there are two men guarding Eschmeyer, then somebody's got to be open. Well, you know who that one player is more times than not? Right here with the basketball, Joe Branch. Indiana's giving Northwestern Joe Branch. They're saying, hey, if Joe Branch can knock down a shot or make a play, then we'll take that. So far in this game, he really hasn't done much of that.
Well, Greg, other than Wink and Eschmeyer, and now with Harris coming off the bench, Northwestern is not getting any kind of a contribution offensively from anybody else, and it's hard to win with 2 and maybe 3 guys doing all of the damage.
Yeah, well, when you've got most of your offense coming from 2 guys, you become really predictable and easier to defend, and that certainly is the case as we're seeing in this second half. Eschmeyer, you know, if he gets 60 touches a game, then they're going to really start getting it into him because he's not getting very many touches in this half.
And most of Northwestern's turnovers have come when they've tried to get it into Eschmeyer. Gladness couldn't handle the pass from Patterson. 5th turnover on Indiana.
Now, funny thing here, you have Patterson who's knocked down 5 baskets in this half. Tried to make another play that time, turned it over, and right in his face was Bob Knight. Bob Knight expects perfect execution every time, regardless of what has happened from a positive standpoint prior.
Eschmeyer at the high post, Branch from the corner. He hesitated, missed the shot. Gladness runs it down.
You know, he's almost got to shoot that. I mean, even though he's shooting a poor percentage, he's standing at 17 feet, wide open, unguarded. You have to shoot it. And if you can't make it, then you may have to get someone else in the game.
Hoosiers turn it over. Northwestern a chance to slice into the 11-point deficit with 12:50 left in the game.
Look at Branch now, number 13, black jersey. Unguarded with the basketball. No one on him. They're daring him to shoot the ball.
Boy, and he looks right now, Greg, like he doesn't know what he wants to do with the basketball as there's a foul on Indiana. He seems very hesitant.
Well, you know what? I think he wants to shoot it, but at this point he's probably feeling, hey, if I shoot another time and miss, I'm coming out of the game. Well, you know what? You're going to come out the game anyway because you're not a threat to score, and they're not checking you. They're putting your man down on Eschmeyer.
Well, Branch is out of the game. Nate Pomaday is in. Andre Patterson out for Indiana, replaced by the 7-foot senior Richard Mandeville. This is Pomaday with the ball. He can shoot, although he cannot really create his own shot. And Northwestern another turnover. Guyton should finish this.
And boy, does he. A lot of hesitation out on the floor for Northwestern. And each time they commit a turnover like that, they're going to get beat down the floor because this is not the quickest team.
Uh-oh. Watch this.
You talk about deja vu. Carbon copy.
A.J. Guyton has forced Northwestern into a timeout, and these fans finally come to life. 12:06 left in the game. The Hoosiers explode to a 15-point lead. This is Big Ten basketball. In that conference, 2 teams that should be in the NCAA tournament.
Rhode Island fighting back from a huge deficit, and here Indiana starting to really assert itself defensively. 2 consecutive turnovers, high out on the floor, and easy run-outs and dunk finishes for that man, A.J. Guyton.
Last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year, A.J. Guyton with 13 points. Indiana has forced Northwestern into 15 turnovers, resulting in 25 points off those turnovers.
Yeah, they are cashing in on the miscues, as you should do if you're a good team.
Wide open, Pomaday airballed it. Well, he'll hear about that for the next 11:45 from these fans.
Boy, he really pulled a string on that. We used to call that apologizing for shooting. Hey, go up and shoot the basketball with confidence.
Recker missing. Pomaday, good block out. Northwestern down 15. They just can't afford to get any further behind.
Notice we have not said the name Evan Eschmeyer. Indiana has pretty much negated him from their offensive attack in the second half.
He hasn't scored in this second half.
He hasn't seen the basketball.
15-point Hoosier lead. Indiana with Guyton from way outside. Missing. Who got a hand on it? Pomaday, evidently. Bob Knight's Hoosiers maintain possession. There you look at the winningest active coach in all of college basketball, Bob Knight, with over 700 career victories at Army and Indiana.
You know, the amazing thing to me, the 28 consecutive winning seasons.
Isn't that something?
Is incredible.
21 times he's been in the NCAA tournament. And, of course, 11 Big Ten championships. They just never seem to rebuild here at Indiana. They just reload and contend every year. There's a holding foul inside. That's the 6th foul already on Northwestern. And it's the 3rd on Joe Branch. Hoosiers up by 15 with 10:44 remaining. Indiana's a club that 3 times already this year in the Big Ten has scored 94 points or more.
Well, they're averaging 84 the last 6, so I mean they can put them up and they can put them up in a hurry because they got so many weapons. This is not a predictable team. They've got a lot of different guys out there on the floor that can get hot and hurt you.
Well, that was Luke Jimenez, who's now made 7 of his last 10 3-pointers over the last 7 games. He comes off the bench and drains that triple. 52-34, Indiana with its biggest lead. 10-10 to play.
Well, you got Northwestern not even trying to get the ball into Eschmeyer anymore, and as a result, he stopped moving as much inside.
Harris drives and scores.
Hey, that's a football player that can play a little bit of basketball. I'm going to give him some credit now.
He's made you a believer.
Yeah, at least today.
He has a double-double, Greg, off the bench. And this will be the 6th team foul on Northwestern. A holding foul going against Julian Bonner, his 3rd.
Here he goes. I mean, on this play, he really looked like a basketball player because that took some skill and athletic ability. What position does he play on the team?
He's going to be a linebacker.
Wow. Okay.
That doesn't look like a linebacker, does it?
It really doesn't. He looks more like a DB or something.
Patterson got the linebacker to leave his feet. And Andre Patterson is putting on some kind of a show here in the second half.
Late
as
call.
We have a late call going against Northwestern after the basket.
It's going against Bonner because he pushed off to free himself to get the ball from out of bounds. And if you're Bonner, I mean, maybe just frustration because you don't really need to push off to get the basketball when you're being guarded by just one guy. You just move your feet and find an opening and call for the basketball. Watch Bonner. Right there. Just pushes Guyton off, and Guyton really wasn't providing any real defensive resistance.
And that puts Indiana at the line for the 1-and-1. This is going to turn into a potential 4-point play for the Hoosiers as now we have a substitution in for the first time as walk-on Matt Camrath, a 6'1" sophomore, as Bonner is out with 4 personals. Harmson's also on the Northwestern bench with 4 fouls, and Guyton with 15 points, and the Hoosiers with their biggest lead at 20. And also now in is Aaron Molnar. He just got rid of the basketball. Look at Napoleon Harris. He's doing it all. Harris with a double-double today. All career bests. 10 points, 10 rebounds. And he's really playing with probably the most confidence of anybody.
I was about to say, if everyone else had brought his confidence and attitude to the floor, things may have been a little differently at this stage anyway for Northwestern. He was talking smack before the game. And as I said, he's backing it up.
That's right. 4 on the shot clock. Camrath dishes to Harris. They're looking to Harris now to do it all, and he scores at the buzzer.
He scored as many points as Eschmeyer. That pretty much should tell you everything you need to know.
Isn't that remarkable? Napoleon Harris, well, you look at the arms on him, maybe he is a linebacker. He is 6'4". He's a tremendous athlete, to say the least. 12 points and 10 rebounds today for Napoleon Harris.
Well, they got him at 6'4", 215 pounds. So the 215 is what makes you think he's a little small for a linebacker.
Well, he just picked up a foul backing into Patterson, his 2nd. The one thing that's really impressive about Harris, Craig, he's not backing down to anybody.
Here comes Eschmeyer back. Like I said, he's got the attitude, the cockiness that you need in a game that's going to be tough. And unfortunately, I don't think a lot of his teammates shared that attitude.
Well, Kevin O'Neill knows what's ahead of him as far as rebuilding this Northwestern program. I mean, it seems like Northwestern's been rebuilding since the mid-'60s. In fact, Greg, you stop and think. Since Bob Knight's been at Indiana for 27 years, Northwestern's had 6 different head coaches in that same time span.
Yeah, that says a lot.
And right now, the Indiana Hoosiers with a 20-point lead, 8:45 remaining. But Northwestern and Kevin O'Neill, they've got the guy now that can rebuild and make this team a winner. And Kevin O'Neill says, I came here because I know we can win in the Big Ten. Gary Barnett proved it in football. We know we can do it in basketball. It just takes hard work, and he's had a good recruiting class.
Yeah, got to be able to get the players. That's the main thing.
Holding foul underneath as Mandeville was holding Eschmeyer. 4th foul on Indiana this half.
Richard Mandeville battling inside. You know what? We haven't called his name very much, but he's done a pretty good job. He's been on the floor. He's been battling Eschmeyer. He's been pushing him out of the paint area, and he has made it very tough for him to catch the ball.
Well, he just bumped Eschmeyer from behind again. Second on Mandeville, and they come within 5 seconds of each other. Quickly, Northwestern races in 3 players, Wink, Harmson, and Bonner. And remember now, Bonner and Harmson both playing with 4 personal fouls, but with 8:21 remaining, no need for Kevin O'Neill to save them, down 20. The inbounds goes to Julian Bonner. Wink, he's not been able to get many looks this second half. Bonner wide open, takes it, misses it. Rebound, Harmson lost it, but it was deflected out by Indiana.
I really give Indiana credit. Their defensive strategy has been superb in the second half. What they've done, they've forced Northwestern to its weaknesses. They've taken Eschmeyer out of the offense. They've taken Wink away, and they've given them Julian Bonner, who has not been much of a scoring threat. They've given them guys like Branch, who's not much of a scoring threat, and they're saying, here, beat us with these guys, and it hasn't happened.
Luke Jimenez called for the hold, his 3rd. 15 foul on Indiana, and right now this game is becoming a game of whistles.
Here's Bonner making his move, and there's the play down low. You see Wink being held right there.
Well, Wink and Eschmeyer both scoreless in the second half, Greg, and they combined for 21 in the first half. Northwestern down 20, 7:52 remaining. Bonner will take the open 3. Now that's the problem for Northwestern. Wink and Eschmeyer don't score, they're not going to score.
And now Eschmeyer, you know, part of his offense is usually the offensive rebound. Not today, not in this half anyway. They really shut him off.
Mandeville traveled after he set a huge pick out front. 7th turnover on Indiana, but the Hoosiers up 20. You're watching Big Ten basketball.
Well, defensively, Indiana has broken Northwestern down. But one of the reasons why over the last 5 or 6 games, Northwestern has been right there against some good teams is because of Eschmeyer's scoring. Now, he's not scoring today, and that is the reason why they're down by 20 points at this stage.
Indiana had just a 6-point halftime lead, but they have pulled away here in the second half. And you mentioned Northwestern. They could have easily won in Ann Arbor. They lost in overtime at home to Michigan State, lost in overtime at home to Penn State. So this is a ball club that could have come in here with a 4-game winning streak.
You're right.
They have improved as the year's gone on, when a lot of teams go in the tank this time of the year, not Kevin O'Neill's club.